Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Samuel. I'm a second year medical student currently studying in Russia. In this video, I'll be sharing with us 8 life lessons I've learned in 2020, and if that sounds fun to you, then let's get into it. First, before I go on, we all know that 2020 was kind of a rough year because of the pandemic and all of that. So there must have been probably a lot of lessons to learn from 2020 because most of the time I was at home, we were doing online learning, we're studying from home. And probably we've learned a lot of things from videos we've watched, blog posts we've read, and all of that. The way this video is going to be structured, I'm going to leave a timestamp down in the description box below so you can skip around to any part that probably interests you the most. Basically, I love to think about my life in 3 dimensions. A while ago, I was talking to someone about how I was actually juggling school and YouTube and all of that. And I was trying to tell the person that I see YouTube as a part of my life, I see my medical school as a part of my life, and also my relationship with my friends, with my girlfriend, and with God as a part of my life. So I juggle those 3 parts as part of my life. So I live those 3 lives every single day of my life as a very important part of my life. And so these 8 lessons I'm going to be giving us today are going to be from these 3 parts of my life: 3 from my YouTube life, 3 from my medical school life, and 2 from my relationship life. So the first set of lessons we're going to be looking into are the lessons I've learned from being a YouTuber for almost a year now. And the first lesson is the AutoPilot Rule, or the rule of dichotomy of control. What I've understood throughout the year from taking Ali Abdal's course and being a YouTuber for almost a year is that these videos we're making and uploading on YouTube, there is no sure or guaranteed amount of views that we're going to get from a particular video. And so this lesson kind of taught me that I needed to focus more on what I'm putting into. So I needed to focus more on the input rather than thinking much about the output. This is what has brought me to the AutoPilot Rule, because I've come to the extent that I will always upload a video on YouTube every single week, or 2 videos every single week, regardless of the amount of views, the amount of likes, the amount of comments I get upon a video. The second lesson I'm going to be talking about today that I learned also from my YouTube life is a lesson of being consistent. And this I've learned over the year of being a YouTuber and also taking Ali Abdal's course on the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. This is probably the first rule to growing organically on any social media platform. You see, if you're creating content out there as a social media person or as a content creator, you have to always keep to your scheduled time or your scheduled number of uploads, whether it's per month or whether it's per week or whether it's fortnightly, because this is actually what helps you grow your channel or grow whatever you're trying to grow organically. And also, one other thing I've learned from being consistent is that it takes only one of your content to actually blow you up. If I'm probably on 1,000 subscribers, if I make it takes only one of my videos for YouTube to blow it up and probably get 1 million views and get me thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So we don't actually know which of our content is going to actually blow us up, and because of that, we have to keep on uploading and hoping one of them is actually going to take us up. And because of that, I've kept to my schedule of uploading at least 1 video every single week, or sometimes if I'm actually able to do it, I'll upload 2 videos in a week. The third lesson and final lesson I've learned from being a YouTuber is what I call the starter rule. And this is one of the problems we face being a beginner in YouTuber or being someone who wants to start YouTube. When you want to start a project in your life, there's always that friction. The biggest friction we face is when we are trying to start something. You face the biggest problem of, do I really start? Do I really want to do this? Do I really have the equipment? Do I really have the resources? And this is what I've actually learned, that if you really want to do something, then start either ways. Whatever you have or whatever you've got with you, whatever the resources, if you're able to start, then just start at that moment immediately. You see, if you want to be a best-selling writer, you don't just wait till you get the best-selling idea. You have to start by writing every single day, probably journal or probably just writing any article, and one day you write a book and it's probably going to be the best-selling. If you're out there thinking of something you want to start and probably you're scared of getting started, please, you can actually use me as an example or a testimony to actually get started. I was very scared at first about becoming a YouTuber, and at most even putting my face out there for people to see and people to talk about it and all of that. I was very scared, but I started either ways and I'm actually fine with it now, and everything is going fine. Now we're done with the lessons I learned from being a YouTuber, so let's move to the lessons I've learned from being a student, and most especially being a medical student. The first lesson that is very important to me is the rule of time and work. And this is something I've heard Ali Abdal talking about. I think one book he read or something said, and I quote, "Work expands to fill the time that you allocate to it." Now, for me to explain this rule to you clearly, let's take a look at this scenario together. Let's say I finish my class today on Sunday, and a teacher is giving us work to do to submit the next Sunday. I could decide to start working immediately, and I want to work on this project for the whole week. and it's probably going to take me that whole week, probably doing it in bits by bits by bits, maybe an hour today, 30 minutes another day, and all of that. And I could also decide to just spend 1 hour on Sunday early morning, probably 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. and finish every single thing about the project. What really comes to mind when we're allocating time to work is the quality we want to derive from it and the volume of what we actually need to do. And so I use this rule when I'm studying for medical school. I plan to give more time to my important courses like anatomy, histology, and less time to less important courses like history or courses that I'm not really interested in. The second lesson I've learned from being a medical student is that there are sometimes it's very important for us to focus more on the bigger picture. This comes in various forms. Sometimes when I'm studying like biochemistry or a course that is very hard for me, trying to focus on little details and trying to cram every single reaction and all of that can be very worrisome and can be very cumbersome. And so sometimes I try to focus more on the bigger picture. Okay, what is actually the use of these reactions? Okay, so I understand that, okay, it's just a reaction about the blood combining to oxygen and also combining to carbon dioxide or something like that. This actually helps me to understand why the little details are there. And sometimes if I don't really remember every single one of these little details, I generally understand the concept and I understand why the reactions that I probably can't remember were there. Now, the other most important form of this rule comes when we're trying to get marks in class. Sometimes when I'm studying, and sometimes I try to study probably to get a particular mark, or probably I just want to do every single thing I can do in my medical school to get the highest mark or to be the best in the class or something like that. And sometimes it just occurred to me that what if I leave the medical school? Am I also going to be carrying this competition into the medical field of being a doctor or trying to be better than other doctors? No. And so at that point, I come back to realize the reason why I'm actually in the medical school, and this is to become a doctor, and this is to save patients in the future. And so this brings me back to the reason why I'm studying, and that is to save patients. And so when I'm studying, I have my patients in mind, and so I'm reading because I want to save someone in the future. I'm trying to understand the whole concept because I want to save someone in the future, rather than cramming and just pouring everything down in a class and forgetting after. So this is one of the most important part of actually the bigger picture, focusing on the bigger picture. Now, finally, on the lessons I've learned from being a medical student, quickly, I'm going to talk about the lesson I learned from knowing about the different study techniques. And because of watching a lot of Ali Abdal's videos, I learned about the study technique of active recall, spaced repetition, and interleaving that he talked about when he was reviewing the book Make It Stick or something like that. And understanding this has made me change the way I actually study and helped me more to understand a lot of things in medical school. If you want to learn more about these techniques, you can actually watch my videos about how to study effectively. I have about 4 videos about that, so you can watch any of them. Now, to the final aspect of my life, and this is the lessons I've learned from being in a relationship with God, being in a relationship with my girlfriend, and being in a relationship with my friends and family around me. And the first one I'm going to talk about here is focusing on what actually matters. I've probably talked about this in the other part of my life, but here sometimes I come to understand that if I finish recording this video, I'll probably press stop, I'll probably edit. If I'm done editing, if I upload, then what happens next? These people around me, these people I call my friends, these people that are my family, my girlfriend, and my God are actually what matters the most in my life. And so I try to spend more time with these people around me because they matter more to me, and not spend too much time on what probably is just a little part of my life. And so I've been able to define my priority. It's important for us to define our priority and know what actually is first on our list. And when we understand what is first, then spending more time on what is first is very important. The final lesson I'm going to be talking about today does not just stay in the relationship category, it also goes to every single aspect of my life, and this is the concept of intention. When we intentionally try to do something, we'll actually get a lot more from it when we don't intentionally do it. And this is because when we intentionally do something, we're putting all our resources into it, we're putting all that we have into it. If I'm trying to do YouTube, I'm intentionally creating a part of my life for YouTube. I'm intentionally creating a part of my time every single day to research script, to learn new things, to learn how to actually record the video, how these gears work, to learn how these techniques work. And this is a very important part of my life, and so I'm putting intention into growing in that part. Also, in my relationship with God, we say that it's not just about spending more time with the person that actually makes you grow with the person. It's about being intentional about the time you spend with the person, because you could spend a lot of time and not actually gain anything from it. You could actually waste those time. And so because of that, I've learned to be very intentional about every single minute I spend with my friends, every single minute I spend with God, and every single second I spend with Evelyn, because this is actually what matters most to me, just like what I said in the last lesson. And so I'm trying to be very intentional and be intentionally growing in this aspect of my life. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video and probably you've learned one or two things from this video. This is one of the videos I actually didn't script and it was just kind of spontaneous, so I don't really know. You can tell me what you guys think in the comment section. If you're not yet a subscriber to the channel, on this channel we talk about how to be more productive, how to study effectively, and generally my life as a medical student. So if you're up for topics like this, a sub to the channel will be a very amazing thing to do. Of course, please don't forget you can watch some of my videos about how to study productively, or if you're ready to actually get work done, you can watch some of my videos in the playlist of study with me or real time motivation, doing stuff with me. Either ways, that's been it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share to your friends and family, and catch you guys in the next one. Merry Christmas. See you soon. Peace.